Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the UCCU Ballpark, the home of 5A bracket play for the 2022 Baseball State Championship. For the 5A classification, I'm JT Wistersill, excited to be with you as the 4th-seeded Olympus Titans are set to take on the 12th-seeded Salem Hills Skyhawks for the second time of the week, the second time as well, in 24 hours as these two teams met. Actually, 48 hours we'll go back to. So it was 48 hours ago these two teams met on the first day of play. And that one as Olympus played Wasatch last night, but first they played Salem Hills. Olympus won 9-5 in that one. Salem Hills would then enter the losers bracket where they would defeat Jordan. The 3-seeded Beat Diggers were upset by the Skyhawks, who advanced to take on Wasatch. Wasatch was there waiting for Salem Hills because Olympus beat them 7-1 to land themselves as the lone team left in bracket 2 of the winners bracket. And Salem Hills was able to beat Wasatch in a thriller. They scored 12 runs late in the 5th inning to give them the decisive edge and help them to complete the incredible comeback. Spencer Vance due up first to face J.D. Olson. It'll be Vance, followed by Sam Richards. Zaylin Fenn will bat third. Charlie Cushing batting fourth. Cam Corbin batting fifth. Nolan Miller will bat sixth. Wyatt Hickman batting seventh. Ball's fouled off by Vance. Zach Nelson will bat eighth, and Luke DeGraffenried will bat ninth. Corbin Sanchez is at the catcher spot for the Titans. J.D. Olson on the mound. Matthew Thomas at first. Tanner Jenkins at second. Jacob Faust playing third. Luke Affleck at shortstop. Ashton Johnson in left field. Mick Paul in center field. And Jackson Godfrey in right field. That's how the bats look for Olympus. Or the field looks for Olympus. 0-2 the count on another outside delivery. Back-to-back balls from Olson. So I mentioned it, Salem Hills scored 12 runs in the bottom of the 6th to land themselves in this game. That ball's fouled off. So Spencer Vance in today's earlier game versus Wasatch, 3 plate appearances, scored 1 run, didn't register a hit, did have a walk, and struck out once, and he'll battle the full count. The first batter Olson's faced. Vance in the first game versus the Titans had a hit, a run, and a run brought in, plus a walk. Here, he'll foul another off into right field. Could hear the anticipation building amongst the Skyhawks faithful. Thought it could be a home run. Speaking of home runs, that's how the game started yesterday for the Titans. They gave up a home run off just the 3rd pitch of the game, but ended up being the only run they'd surrender. Vance hangs tough, gets the walk. That'll bring up Sam Richards, the left fielder. Richards in the earlier game today, 3 at-bats, 1 run scored. He walked and struck out. His numbers identical to Vance in that regard. Vance now settled on first. Richards has been the DH for much of this tournament today, or tonight, the left fielder. One-0 the count after another delivery from Olson. Both teams at this point deep in their pitching order. Richards takes a hack, gets nothing. Richards in the last game versus Olympus had a hit and a run, but also struck out twice and a walk. He's 2-1 in the count. Another inside delivery. We'll make it 3-1. Olson looking to avoid another walk. He's unable to. High delivery, Richards to first. Back-to-back walks. Not the start head coach of the Titans, Cortland Feltz. Hope to see. Salem Hills is led by head coach Scott Haney. So 2 runners on base, no outs for the Titans. That'll bring up Zaylen Fenn. Fenn has been lights out this tournament. In the first matchup versus Olympus, had a 2-run homer in 4 at-bats. Mentioned the 2-run homer, also had 2 other hits, brought in a run and 2 other ones. He did strike out in 1 plate appearance. He'll go to 1-1 in the count here. If the Titans win, there will be no game tomorrow. If Salem Hills takes it, we will have action. The potential game tomorrow would be scheduled for 4:30, but once again, only if Olympus loses tonight. If they win, they'll get a bye tomorrow. Ball's fouled off by Fenn. 1-2 the count. Fenn in the earlier game versus Wasatch had 4 at-bats, 3 hits, scored 2 runs, 3 RBIs. High delivery will even our count. Olson struggling earlier, already with 2 walks. Full count off the ball delivery. Fenn, 1 home run versus the Titans. Also had the home run earlier. Him and Wyatt Hickman will get the start on the mound today and still hit combined for 7 RBIs and 2 homers apiece. Olson. His pitch is fouled off by Fenn to stay alive in the count, 3-2. Got to imagine we'll see Coach Feltz make a trip out to the mound if Fenn reaches base here. The most powerful hitter on the week for Salem Hills. Can he keep up his streak? He won't need to. He'll walk to first. So bases loaded up for Olympus with no outs in the inning. 3 straight walks by Olson. It'll bring up Charlie Cushing. As we said, Coach Feltz making his way over. He'll talk things over on the mound with Cushing due up. Cushing in the earlier game today had a double that brought in a run. He also had another hit, scored 2 runs of his own in a productive day versus Wasatch. Then in the first game versus Olympus, Cushing also had 2 hits and 2 runs brought in. That one a 9-5 game. Salem Hills jumped out to a 3-0 lead over the Titans, but Olympus would use a productive 3rd and 4th inning, which they combined to score 7 runs. They'd add 2 more in the bottom of the 5th and wouldn't need to finish it off in the 7th as they would secure The 9-5 win. That's how the first game played out against Salem Hills. Coach Phelps has talked things over with Olson, who's set to deliver to Cushing, the third baseman. Skyhawks have battled back in every game they've been in to reach this point of the tournament. They're the lowest seed remaining in 5A. 0-2 the count facing Cushing. In March Madness time, the 12th seed usually gets a couple upsets. That's what these Skyhawks have been able to do. One, two the count. Fouling it off is Cushing. Count will remain 1-2. Olson looking for his first out of the day. Could it come via the strikeout? He'll deliver it. And it's low. So we'll even the count. That ball well trapped by Sanchez at the catcher spot. Two the count. Cushing will foul it off yet again. Lengthy battle ensuing. In the first at bat for Cushing. Outside pitch. Looks like our scoreboard was wrong here. So that will bring it to full count. Olson in danger of walking in a run. It's a strikeout. Cushing goes down looking. Olson steps up. Cam Coburn now due up, the second baseman. Coburn in the first meeting with Olympus. Had 2 hits in his 4 at-bats, also brought in 2 runs, 2 strikeouts as well. In his earlier bout with Wasatch, Coburn, 3 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 runs scored as well in that one. 1 run brought in and a walk. Corbin saw some time in the mound in yesterday's game versus Jordan. Low delivery from Olson, goes to 2-0 in the count. So Vance on first, Richards on second, Fenn on first, all courtesy of walks. Delivery from Olson brings the count to 2-1. Low and out of the inning for Olympus, coming off the Cushing strikeout. This one drilled, but caught. Affleck secures the line drive. Nolan Miller now due up. Miller, the center fielder, looking to bring in some runs. Olson has gotten 2 quick outs after allowing the 3 walks. Great reaction play made by Affleck at shortstop. Miller will step out after he called for time. Earlier today, Miller, 3 at-bats, had 2 hits. Scored 1 run in that one, brought in another one for his team. Also had a strikeout. But in 4 at-bats, he had 3 strikeouts versus the Titans on Monday. He's 0-1 in the count here. Miller stepped up huge on the mound in the team's win over Jordan yesterday. Miller was nearly hit by that pitch. If he would have hung in, he would have walked in a run if he would have just taken the contact. Two won the count. Olson delivers a ball that's drilled, but directly to Affleck. So 2 line drive catches from Affleck and the strikeout of Cushing. What allows the Titans to leave 3 stranded on as the Skyhawks are left stuck. So 3 stranded for the Skyhawks, courtesy of a late rally by the Titans, who let the first 3 batters walk, then retired the next 3. So an unfortunate stretch for Miller. But Affleck, man, came to play. Both of those drilled at him. Not a problem for the shortstop. Look at the bats for the Titans. It'll be Mick Paul batting first, Ashton Johnson batting second, Jacob Faust batting third, Luke Affleck will bat cleanup, Corbin Sanchez batting fifth, Jackson Godfrey batting seventh, J.D. Olson batting eighth, with Tanner Jenkins and Isaac Hodgson rounding out the order for Olympus. Looking at things for the Skyhawks, it's Wyatt Hickman who gets to start on the mound for Salem. Luke DeGraffenried, the catcher. Zach Nelson at first, Cam Coburn at second, Charlie Cushing at third, Zaylen Fenn at shortstop, Sam Richards in left field, Nolan Miller in center field, and Spencer Vance in right field. Hickman warming up. Hickman played a lot of left field throughout the week for Salem Hills. .339 the ERA for Hickman in 4 appearances on the season. 10 1 innings pitched. He's allowed 12 hits, 5 runs, all 5 earned, 7 walks, 8 strikeouts through 48 batters faced. Only given up 1 home run. Speaking of home runs, how about Mick Paul yesterday getting our game started versus Wasatch with the inside the Parker. He sent one sky high to center field and showed off the speed that's attracted the LSU Tigers, as he had the inside the Parker. So in our nightcap, Olympus versus Wasatch, both the leadoff batters scored for their respective teams. We'll see how Mick Paul does as he makes his way to home plate now. Paul in the first game versus Salem Hills in 2 at-bats. Had 1 hit, 2 walks, scored 3 runs, and brought in 1 as well. In last night's game against Wasatch, brought in 1 run, 2 hits, and 4 at-bats. He's yet to strike out in our 5A tournament. Hickman will look to turn that around here. Paul allows the first strike to sail through. The 12-seeded Skyhawks taking on the 4-seed, the Olympus Titans. McPaul pulls back from a showed bunt. 1-1 the count. Our last game of the night will be Lehigh. The Pioneers are set to take on Bountiful after Bountiful eliminated Orem in our second game of the day. 1-2 the count goes. So that game will be due up about 30 minutes after this one, or if we wrap up in another hour and a half, it'll just keep its original start time of 7. This one drilled by Mick Paul. Takes a bounce, reaches left field. Paul going to turn it into a double. The speedy and powerful Mick Paul sends one into left field. Started his day yesterday with an inside the Parker. Today, he'll begin with a double. Then I'll bring up Ashton Johnson. Johnson will be going to the Community College of Southern Idaho next year. He'll step in to face Hickman. Hickman will check Paul on second. Johnson fouls one into the net. So Olympus, if they're able to take this game, no second game tomorrow. It's the same scenario for Lehigh. If we do get a Lehigh Olympus matchup, one fun fact is they're both the winners of they're both winners of a state championship this year in other sports for the Pioneers. In football, Jackson Brousseau led Lehigh to the state title. Then in basketball, it was Jack Wistersill leading the Olympus Titans to a state championship. They're now the Olympus Titans and the Lehigh Pioneers, the two highest seeds remaining in this one. Johnson lines one into left field. It'll take a bounce. So Paul will hold up at third. Back-to-back base hits for the Titans. So Johnson makes it to first. That'll bring up Jacob Faust. When Salem Hills was at the bats, their first three batters were able to make it to base via the walk. Olympus trying to do the same here. Get all three batters to base in their first appearance. Outside delivery from Faust. Faust in the game last night versus Wasatch didn't have the success that Johnson had. Johnson had 2 hits in that one in 4 at-bats. Faust with 1 hit in 4 at-bats, 2 strikeouts as well. He'll await the 1-0 delivery, and he'll drive it into right field. It caught the top of the bat as Paul stomps on home. First run a go for the Titans. Johnson makes it to third. Olympus snags the early lead. Cam Corbin came over to talk things over with Wyatt Hickman. Luke Affleck now due up. So for Salem Hills, they were able to get 3 runners on base, courtesy of walks. The Titans do it courtesy of 3 hits. It's 3 line drives for Olympus, with Faust going off the very top of the bat. Sending that one right over first baseman Zach Nelson into right field. Allowing a run to score for Olympus. One the count. Runner on third is Ashton Johnson. Runner on first is Faust. Luke Affleck at the plate. Affleck, 3 at-bats last night versus Wasatch. Had 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. He'll foul that one off to go 1-2. Affleck also scored a run. In the first game versus Salem Hills, Affleck was very productive. In 4 at-bats, had 2 hits, 2 runs, and brought in 1 as well. Affleck also had 2 strikeouts. The aggressive hitter chops one that goes off the glove of Cushing. They're reaching left field. And that's going to bring in Johnson. Back-to-back RBIs for the Titans, but 4 straight hits off the first 4 batters for Olympus. Head coach of Salem Hills, Scott Haney. Got to be wondering if he'll have to get the bullpen going soon with still no outs in the inning. Trying to steal second and making it was Affleck. As shaken up is Coburn. He looks to be okay as he's helped to his feet. Looked like Affleck got landed on, but he appears okay. It's both are all right. We'll talk it over for a second just to make sure. Coburn is a little shaken up. So that hit from Affleck that bounced off the glove of Cushing. Bring up Corbin Sanchez. The hit from Affleck drove in Johnson. Moved Faust to third. So 2-0 the score. Olympus with 4 hits through 4 batters. Successful stolen base by Affleck. So Johnson and Mick Paul already scored. Jackson Godfrey on deck with J.D. Olson, the pitcher, in the hole. Unless there's a double play, both will bat. Olympus scored 1 run last night versus Wasatch and none versus Salem Hills in the first go-around. So already their most productive start to a game this week. Sanchez versus Wasatch last night. Didn't have a hit. Was only able to walk in 2 at-bats, but also scored a run. He'll bite on that one. Count goes to 1-2. One, two, the count. Hickman nearly had the strikeout, but it was fouled off by Sanchez. Sanchez in his first game versus Salem Hills. And 1 at-bat, had 1 hit. Brought in 2 runs as well in the contest and struck out twice. He'll look to keep the bats hot for the Titans as they've yet to have an out. Hickman looking to turn his afternoon around. Won't come on that wide pitch that brings in a run for the Olympus. So Jacob Faust scores the 3rd run of the inning for the Titans. Sanchez, 2-2 in the count after that outside delivery. Affleck made it to third as well. Hickman. Ball 3 delivered, so full count now. Can Salem Hills capture at least a little momentum back and get an out here? Hickman going for the strikeout. And he can't get it. He walks Sanchez, who takes first. The first walk of the day allowed by Hickman. That'll bring up a pinch runner for the catcher Sanchez. It's going to be Jack Musso who takes first for Olympus. Casey Affleck still settled on third. With Jackson Godfrey now due up. 6 batters deep are Olympus. 6 batters are what Salem Hills reached in their first go around with Ollie. Another pass ball. Affleck, he's going to go for it. And he'll make it home. 4-0 our score. Still no outs for Salem. Off the ball delivery to Godfrey. Godfrey in the first matchup versus Salem Hills on Monday, 4 at-bats. 1 hit, 1 RBI, struck out twice. Then last night versus Wasatch, he had 1 hit and 3 at-bats. Also brought in 2 runs with that hit. Scored a run of his own, too. Talked about it for Olympus. In their previous 2 first innings combined in their game versus Wasatch and Salem Hills, they had 1 combined run in the first inning. Today, already up to 4 and in great position to add to that total with still no outs. Two on the count. Strike delivery will even the count for Hickman. Godfrey will try to prevent from being the first out of the inning for the Titans. Hickman checks Musso and delivers. Salem Hills gets their first out off the strikeout of Godfrey. And I'll bring up J.D. Olson, the fellow pitcher. He's been in the field for most of the week at shortstop for Olympus. But Luke Affleck has looked more than comfortable taking over for him, as he already has 2 outs via the line drive. 2 line drives that were hit his way. Olson sends one high. Will it drop? It will. Confusion ensues, with Musso moving to third. Another base hit for Olympus. Olson did not register a hit last night. He just had 1 versus Salem Hills on the other game versus Salem Hills. So already equaled his hits totaled for the week. Off that fly ball that dropped, that'll bring up Tanner Jenkins with Jack Musso on third. Tanner Jenkins, the second baseman, due up with Olson, the pitcher, on first. Hickman will deliver. Bunt it showed, and taking that one off the helmet is Jenkins. They should look at him for a moment, as he's going to crouch down for a moment. That was quite the shot he took off his head. Hickman now giving up 5 hits, a walk, and hit a batter. Coach Felt's going to look that over and make sure that Jenkins is okay, which he appears to be, so he'll remain in the game. Going to see an infield meeting take place. Yet to see Coach Haney make his way to the mound. No one warming up for Salem Hills. Got to wonder if they made it to tomorrow, what kind of pitching they'd have left. It's already their 4th game. Isaac Hodgson now due up. On deck is once again Mick Paul. Just 1 out through 8 batters faced so far. One 0 the count. Hickman delivers another high. Hodgson lets another ball pass high. Hickman in danger of walking in what would be his first run walked in. You know, it's been an early struggle for him. See if the right-hander can get right here. He'll find the strike zone with that pitch. The DH for the Titans, Isaac Hodgson, opts to let it go by. Hodgson line drives one into right field. Getting it is Vance, who tries to get it in time, but unable to handle it is Nelson. So that brings in another 2 runs for Olympus. They lead 6-0 in the bottom of the first. Coach Haney finally going to make his way out to the mound. So the single for Hodgson brings Jenkins over to third and scores 2 runs for the Titans. Six nothing our score. Coach Haney going to pull Hickman. Looked like there was someone warming up in the bullpen just to the very corner that I cannot see, located in my spot from the press box. So we'll step away and give you the name and new stats for who Salem Hills is called to the mound. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Nick Brown takes over for the struggling Wyatt Hickman. Gave up 6 hits and 6 runs, and 2 more settled on base, with Mick Paul due up for what would be his second time in the first inning. Sent a line drive into left field in his first plate appearance and made it to first. It's also the first run of the day to score for the Titans. Paul allows the outside ball to pass. So it's Tanner Jenkins on third, Isaac Hodgson at first. Hodgson just drove in 2 runs for the Titans. Six nothing our score. 0-1 the count. Unsuccessful pickoff attempt. Delivery is a big-time hit by Mick Paul, who sends another into center field. And it drives in another run for the Titans. 7-0 their lead. Off Paul's direct hit to center field. So it's a single for Mick Paul. The diving Corbin, unable to get it. I'll bring back Ashton Johnson. Still just 1 out in the inning. 7-0, Olympus leads. This one popped up, looks to be playable. So Johnson retired via the pop out. His first appearance was a line drive. He launched into left field. This one, a pop out into foul territory. Jacob Faust returns. Faust drove in Mick Paul the last time he was up. He launched one into right field. 2 outs now. Two runners on base. And that one hits Faust. Becomes the second batter to be hit by a pitch. The first hit by Brown. Hickman hit Tanner Jenkins earlier in this first inning. With Luke Affleck coming up, this will be the 13th at bat for a Titan. Affleck, the last time we saw him, drove in 2 runs for Olympus. 3 runners on base. They're checking over Faust to make sure he's okay. Looks to be all right as Affleck comes back up. Nick Brown delivers. Salem Hills not a fan of the call. They believed it was a strike. Instead, it'll be ball 1. Affleck pops it high. Opportunity for Salem Hills to get out of it. And they'll be able to do so. So Sam Richards gets the grab. That finally ends the inning for Salem Hills. So Olympus 7 runs off 7 hits. We move into the second in our 7-0 game. Titans lead the Skyhawks at J.D. Olson back on the mound. He gave up 3 walks in the first 3 batters he faced, but then struck out Charlie Cushing. And Cam Coburn and Nolan Miller both hit line drives directly to Luke Affleck at shortstop. That'll bring up Wyatt Hickman, Zach Nelson, and Luke DeGraffenried. The back of the Skyhawks batting order look to erase the 7-0 deficit and put the ball in play. Hickman, the DH. In the game versus Wasatch earlier today, Hickman, 4 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 runs, 4 runs brought in. Inside delivery from Olson is ball 1. Olson winds, delivers. A line drive that breaks into left field. So Hickman, the first base hit of the day. So he lands on first. That'll bring up Zach Nelson, the first baseman. Nelson in the first game versus Olympus. 2 at-bats, 1 walk, and a strikeout. In the game earlier today, Nelson, 4 at-bats, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 runs brought in. Nelson fouls it off. It's been a fun day of action here at UCCU Ballpark, home at Utah Valley University, and the 5A baseball playoffs this week. Bracket play well underway. Looking at our action earlier today. First, it was Salem Hills who had the monster comeback in the bottom of the 6th, scoring 12 runs to defeat Wasatch. Then Bountiful battled back with 7 runs in the 4th inning. That would give them the 8-6 win. Orem tried to make it close late, but could not complete the comeback. So that one setting our matchup for tonight with Lehigh taking on Bountiful. Following the conclusion of this game, grounder will break off the mound and up to Mick Paul in center field. So back-to-back base hits. Luke DeGraffenried, the last batter of the order for the Skyhawks, now due up. Olson with no outs in the inning and 2 runners on. DeGraffenried thought about swinging at it, probably should have, as it was a strike. DeGraff and Reed skies it into foul territory. Another strike delivery by Olson, and that retires DeGraff and Reed, the second strikeout of the game for J.D. Olson. We'll bring back Spencer Vance. Vance, the first time we saw him, was able to walk. He looked to get the scoring started and bring in some of his teammates. Vance lets the second high ball pass. Hickman at first. Hickman at second. Nelson at first. 2-0 the count. Vance lets the first strike. Spencer Vance saw time on the mound earlier. He'll fall to 2-2 in the count after swinging and getting nothing. Olson hoping for back-to-back strikeouts on Vance, who on the season has driven in 26 runs, 101 at-bats, has 38 hits, 376 the batting average. He'll ask for time before he receives the 2-2 pitch. Olson against Vance to pop a high one into foul territory. So your count remains at 2-2. Vance will avoid the inside pitch to move to full count. Olson trying to secure the second out of the inning. And if he can't, the bases will be loaded. Vance, he's headed to first via the walk. Second walk on the day for Vance. With Sam Richards due up, who was the second walk on the day for Olson. Richards, the left fielder, was the DH for much of the game. It's a nice night here at the ballpark. Small wind going through as Richards lets the outside ball pass. Richards drives one that breaks into right field. That's going to score not one, but two Skyhawks. Big time base hit from Sam Richards. His line drive into right field brings in two. So Richards to first, Vance to second. Zaylen Fenn will be due up next. He already has a pair of home runs on the week. Had a walk in his first at-bat. So we'll see the infield talk it over. Going to see a pinch runner come on in place of Richards. So still just one out in the inning. 2 runs scored in the second inning. Both came in off the 2-run RBI. Caden Hansen at first. Hansen at first, Vance to second. Zaylen Fenn looking to keep the hitting up. First strike will pass. Fenn smokes one in the left field. On a hop, it reaches Johnson. And the tag out at third. The arm of Johnson as he got it to Faust. And Faust was able to retire Vance, who rounded third. But then Coach Handy told him he needs to come back, and he couldn't do so in time as the Titans get the out. So Fenn to first, Cade Hansen to second. Charlie Cushing back up. He was the first out of the first inning with a strikeout. Olson's first on the day. He has 2 up to this point. Still 2 runners on. After Vance was retired at third, a great throw by Ashton Johnson. One-0 the count off the foul off. Titans looking to remain with at least a 5-run advantage as they try to get another out here. High delivery evens the count at 1-1. And a reminder, this is a Skyhawks team that no lead is too big for them. All they've done is come back this week. Pop fly out to left, Johnson. He'll make the grab. Olympus leaves 2 stranded on, but they give up 2 runs to Salem Hills, who also gets 4 hits in the inning. Move to the bottom of the second. Titans lead it 7-2 over the Skyhawks. Corbin Sanchez due up for Olympus after Charlie Cushing flew out to left field. That one nearly hits Sanchez. Sanchez, last time we saw him walked. Speaking of the Titans, the last time we saw them, they scored 7 runs offensively. See if they can keep those bats hot. Sanchez almost swung at it. Instead, it evens the count at 1-1. Nick Brown remains on the mound. Bodies occupying, but no one actively warming up in the bullpen of the Skyhawks. Ball's grounded over to Cushing on third, who makes the long throw over in time, retiring Sanchez. Jackson Godfrey struck out in his first plate appearance. That was back against Hickman. Brown be looking to make it 2 up, 2 down as he'll deliver. Godfrey slams one into left field. He'll round first, but stay. First base hit of the day for Jackson Godfrey off the line drive. That'll bring J.D. Olson up. Olson dropped one into right field the last time we saw him. Olson set to deliver. He pops it straight up. Looks to be playable at first, and will be, as Nelson gets the grab. Retiring Olson for the first time today. And I'll bring up Tanner Jenkins, who was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Jenkins, the lone Titan, did not get a hit on the day, as young as it is. Pickoff opportunity. Nearly had him, did Zaylen Fenn. But Godfrey safe at second. Jenkins awaits the delivery. Strike passes. Already 2 outs in the inning for the Skyhawks. Reached the mark much quicker than they did in the previous inning. 1-1 the count. Jenkins fouls it back. Nick Brown yet to get a strikeout. Has an opportunity to do so and get Salem Hills out of the inning. Jenkins will ask for time as he steps out. Brown delivers. Jenkins fouls it off. One, two, the count. Jenkins fouls it off. It's nearly fair as he ripped it into right field. Count remains 1-2. Brown trying to get his team out of it. Can he retire Jenkins here? That pitch just to the outside, much to the frustration of Salem Hills as it evens the counts. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. With 1 runner on second. Tanner Jenkins, the second baseman, awaits the delivery. And he'll foul another off. The crack of the bat sounds great, just a little late on it. Second time these two teams have met this week. Olympus took the first matchup 9-5. They already scored 7 runs. They'll try to add to the total with Jenkins. Battling back to full count after 2 straight ball deliveries. Brown looking for his first strikeout since taking over for Hickman. Nearly swinging at it and walking to first instead is Tanner Jenkins. So yet to put the ball in play, but has reached base safely both times. Isaac Hodgson due back up. Last time we saw Hodgson, he sent one into right field. Slightly high delivery on the first ball from Brown. 2 runners on with 2 outs. Salem is the 12th seed, trails the 4-seeded Titans, 7-2. The count. Hodgson. That's another high delivery through. So 3-0 the count. The right-hander in danger of loading the bases with Mick Paul and the rest of the top of the Titans batting order due up. First strike of the at-bat set. Brown delivers another. That Hodgson is forced to foul off, so full count. Brown, the senior. Hodgson, also a senior. Who will win this testy at-bat? Hodgson barely fouled it off to stay alive. We'll have to reset both our base runners as they were moving on. First contact was Jackson Godfrey. He's still settled on second. And Taylor Jenkins, who's on first via the walk. Brown looking for his first strikeout. And not his second consecutive walk. This one launched into left field. It's high. Unable to grab it was Richards. That's not going to bring in just one Titan, but 2. Going for the triple, sliding in and getting it is Isaac Hodgson. He brought in 2 runs in his first at-bat. He brings in 2 more in his second at-bat after he launched one deep into left field. Isaac Hodgson with the huge hit gives the Titans a 9-2 lead as it's a triple. Mick Paul due back up. Paul with 2 base hits already on the day. LSU commit. Look to continue to keep the bats hot. His first ball. He lifted into left field, the second one. He boomed into center. Outside delivery from Brown. So the lead back to 7. Paul pops it up. And making the grab in left field was Sam Richards. So he retires Paul to get his team out of the inning. But 2 more runs for the Titans. They're up to 9. 9 hits equaling 9 runs. We head into the third. Still a 7-point differential. You're back here inside UCCU Ballpark, where Olympus holds a 9-2 lead over Salem Hills. Their second meeting of the week due up is Cam Coburn, Nolan Miller, and Wyatt Hickman. Coburn fouls one off, dropping to 0-2 in the count. Coburn, the first plate appearance. Line drive right to Luke Affleck, who retired him. The normal shortstop. J.D. Olson, currently settled on the mound. And delivered a ball to the outside. Olson over 60 pitches now as he delivers back-to-back balls. Coburn nearly reached on it. Looked like he was about to throw the bat to walk. I think he forgot he'll need one more ball in order to do that. But he has battled back to full count after starting 0-2. J.D. Olson gets a pop that goes over everyone's heads. So we remain at full count after the foul ball. Coburn pops another up. This one in fair territory, and it's going to go directly to Mick Paul at center field. Nolan Miller due back up. He was the second straight line drive hit to Affleck that ended the inning. That's what being the first inning for Salem Hills. Miller 0-1 the count. Olson gets Miller to chop one over to Faust. Foot race. Titans win it. Wyatt Hickman, the DH, now due up. Last time we saw him, he had the first base hit of the day for the Skyhawks. It was 4 base hits for them in the top of the second, also bringing in 2 runs. 2 outs now after Coburn and Miller were both retired. Hickman (1-0) the count. He launches it into left field. Looks like a homer, and it will be. The huge home run by Wyatt Hickman makes it a 6-run game. He sent it high and deep. He'll cross home plate, awaiting his teammates. Skyhawks with a little bit of life in the third as Olson is rocked. First homer of our late afternoon game. Zach Nelson returns. Nelson had the grounder that bounced off the mound and headed past second. Olson takes the count to 1-1. Hickman, the first one for Salem Hills to have 2 hits today. Speaking of hits, that's another one into right field. As Nelson will reach base. He becomes the second player for Salem Hills to have 2 base hits. He'll reach first with Luke DeGraffenried due up. Struck out the last time we saw him. They get Olson with the balk. Allowing Nelson to reach second. DeGraffenried allows the low pitch to pass for ball 1. Two oh the count. Olson looking to get back on track. DeGraffenried rips it. Enter center field. It'll reach McPaul, but not before a run scores for Salem. The second straight inning, they've added 2 runs. They cut the deficit to 5. Olson looked like it was going to be a quick third inning for the Titans with his strong performance and the infield holding up. But 3 consecutive strong hits. Brings Spencer Vance back up. 2 walks for him on the day. He's been a tricky out for Olson, who will try to turn around his fortune against the leadoff batter here. Starts it off with a strike as it's fouled off. One the count. Vance avoids the inside pitch. No one warming up for the Titans, so this is still firmly Olson's game. Three-one the count. 3 straight balls delivered by Olson. He'll look to bring it to full count here. He'll do that as the ball's chopped down to third. So full count. Olympus trying to get out of the inning, limiting the damage to just 2 runs. Calling for time is Vance, the first one for Salem to bat for a 3rd time. Pickoff attempt, not even close. Olson delivers. Vance rips it. That one will reach right field. On it is Godfrey. He'll try to get it in. Coach Haney wisely held up to DeGraffenried at third. But the 4th consecutive big base hit will cause an infield meeting for Olympus. as they'll talk things over. Vance reaches base for the third time today. That one off the powerful hit into right field. It just squeezed past Matthew Thomas, but the velocity on it made it impossible to track on such a short notice. Sanchez and the rest of the infield will return to their spots. Sam Richards due back up. He drove in the 2 runs in the top of the second. See if he can add to the total. So 4 straight hits for Salem. Brings them up to 8 on the game. Titans have 9. They still lead 9-4. High delivery for ball 1. Richards rips one deep, but Mick Paul is on it. He gets under it and gets the Titans out of the inning. So 2 more runs score for Salem Hills. Kyler Baum takes over for Nick Brown. Baum looking to make it the first inning where Olympus hasn't scored. He'll face Johnson first. Johnson smashes it. It's a home run. The first pitch delivered by Kyler Baum is obliterated by Johnson. He'll round third with a little more speed as he increases this to a 10-4 lead. He stops home and awaits his teammates. Johnson had popped out into foul territory after swinging at the first pitch in his previous appearance. This time, he swings at the first one, and it yields great results as it's the first home run for Olympus. 10-4 our score. Baum will look to have more success against Faust. Faust allows the high pitch to pass. Reminder, our second game, start time scheduled for 7. It's in doubt at the moment. Lehigh versus Bountiful. Our rematch of our nightcap. This grounder drilled to Fenn, who gets it to first. Faust retired for the first time today. Now due up is Luke Affleck. The shortstop will try to be the first player for Olympus to reach base in 3 plate appearances. Or check that, he actually flew out in his most recent at-bat, so that's not going to be possible. Bunt was shown for a moment, but losing control of the pitch was Baum. Baum, a senior, will wind, deliver. A chopper. That's foul. It was nearly fair. So 10 hits and 10 runs for Olympus, aided by the home run from Johnson. Luke Affleck mentioned he flew out to left field in his last at-bat. That's the one that ended the first inning for the Titans. In his first at-bat, he had a grounder that broke into left field that brought in 2 runs for the Titans. Affleck awaits the delivery. He'll pop it. Sky high. Trying to track it is Fenn. In foul territory. He's unable to make the grab. It's one of the few foul balls I've seen hit today that Went so high, I lost it in the press box. So that fly ball, unable to be caught in foul territory by Fenn, who thought he had it all the way. Mean Affleck gets another crack at it. 2-2 the count. With 1 out for Olympus. Three-two off the ball delivery. Baum looking for his first strikeout. He'll deliver. Instead, it's another foul ball. Full count. Affleck will walk to first on the high delivery. That'll bring up Corbin Sanchez. Sanchez had a walk in his first at-bat. It was the first walk that Hickman led up and grounded out to third the last time we saw him. Still just 1 out in the inning for Olympus. So it'll be Sanchez, Godfrey on deck. Kyler Baum on the mound with Luke Affleck on first. One and one the count. He's calling for time. Was Luke DeGraffenried at his catcher spot. Salem Hills trying to force a game tomorrow. That would be at 4:30. If they lose here, it would end their season. Ball's fouled off into the net by Sanchez. Bring our count to 1-1. Kyler Baum looking for his first strikeout. Can he get it here? So that did hit him. Oh. So the call is Sanchez went into the throw. Coach Felt's not a fan. He's making his way out to talk over. So Sanchez, our home plate umpire, saying he went into the delivery. And he's ruled out at the moment. Other umpires going to talk it over, make a determination. I did not think that Sanchez went into it. I thought he just kind of let it happen. I think the only thing he didn't do was pull back, which you could argue he could do, but I mean, I understand if you're Sanchez just wanting to stay there and take the base. So it's a tough call. We'll see what the three men come together and decide. Our first, third, and home plate umpire. Calls like this are hard to overturn, so we would be surprised to see it change. Looks like they may be making a change. They call over Coach Haney. Who's going to now plead his case. So it's Jackson Godfrey on deck. If the call does stand of the out. Looks like a decision has been reached. And we're going to do it again. So the call rescinded. 1-2 the count. Salem faithful not pleased with it, including Coach Haney, who's frustrated. So 2-2 our count after the ball delivery. Sanchez looking to reach base for the second time today and advance Affleck. This one will drop into shallow center field, and the speedy Affleck gonna make it to third. So after all that, a base hit for Sanchez. So 2 runners on now for the Titans. Pinch runner. It's gonna once again, for Olympus, be Jack Moss, or Jack Musso, excuse me. So Jackson Godfrey due up. Easily stealing second is Musso. Wise decision by DeGraff and Reed not to throw the ball. Baum's numbers on the season. 21 his ERA. 0-1 the record in 5 appearances on the season. Baum in just 3-1 innings pitched has given up 7 hits, 11 runs, 10 of those earned. It's 10 walks, just 2 strikeouts. He's given up a home run and faced 29 batters on the season. He now faces Godfrey, who moves out of the way of the inside pitch. (2-0) the count. Olympus trying to load the bases with just 1 out. Godfrey lets the strike pass. Godfrey struck out his first plate appearance, then had a line drive into left field for a single. J.D. Olson, the other pitcher, due on deck. 2 runners in scoring position for the Titans. Godfrey fouls it off to even our count. This is Salem Hills team that's 20-12 on the season. They were 9-7 in Region 9 play. They defeated Northridge in 2 games. Before snagging their first upset, as that ball's fouled off, against Park City. They defeated Park City in 2 straight games, one of those being a decisive 18-1 victory that placed them in the matchup versus Olympus, in which they lost the first one. But wins versus Jordan and Wasatch have landed them here in their 4th game of the week. Godfrey lets the breaking ball pass. It's a mistake. He'll strike out for the 2nd time today. The 3rd strikeout on the season for Kyler Baum. And it'll bring up J.D. Olson. Olson laid a fly ball into right field his first appearance. Also flew out there in the 2nd at-bat. See what his 3rd at-bat brings. Still 2 runners in scoring position. Moss on 2nd. DeGraff and Reed, or excuse me, Affleck on 3rd. Olson allows ball 1 through. That ball is fouled back into the ribs or side stomach of Olson as he'll shake it off for the 1-1 count. The Salem Hills team is no stranger to long games. As we're only 3 innings in, but about 20 minutes away from 2 hours into this one. They had a 3.5-hour game versus Jordan yesterday, which they come back late. Two-one the count. Olson lets the count go to 3-1 on the outside pitch. Baum in danger of walking his second batter since taking the mound. So full count off the foul off from Olson. Baum gave up a home run to Johnson to start the inning. Now is a chance for back-to-back strikeouts to get his team out of it and leave 2 Titans stranded on base against his fellow pitcher, J.D. Olson. Baum sets, winds, fires the pitch, and it's well high. He totally lost control of it. He's mad at himself too. And that allows Olson to take first. So the strikeout followed up with a walk. Baum lost control of that one. Pinch runner going to first for Olympus will be Chase Mosley. So it's Chase Mosley, the pinch runner at first. Jack Musso, pinch runner at second. And Corbin Sanchez at third for the moment. It's actually Luke Affleck at third. And that's going to be it for Baum after he lost control of that one. We'll step away. Titans still in command with 3 on base. Caleb Holman takes over. So Caleb comes on in place of Kyler Baum. Just need one more out to get his team out of the inning. 3 runners on. First delivery, a strike by Holman, the sophomore. So Tanner Jenkins has reached base in his 2 previous plate appearances. He was hit by a pitch and walked earlier. He nearly got hit by that one. A lot of protesting from Salem. Has a ball to call. For the Titans, it's Affleck on first. Mosley at first. Jack Musso, both pinch runners at second. That breaking ball sails in for another ball. And Salem fans continue to let our home plate umpire have it. 2-1 the count. 2 straight curve balls, our balls, for Holman. Coach Haney going to come out and fight for his guy, feeling that both those were strikes. Or just wanting an explanation on them. 2-1 the score. Jenkins. That curveball sails it for a strike, and Coach Handy can do nothing but laugh. This looked to be a similar pitch and placement. So 2-2 the count. If you ever wonder why coaches ever complain, it can be for reasons like that. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Holman trying to get his team out of it here. It's fouled off by Jenkins to stay alive. He's yet to put the ball in play, but looking to be the first Titan to reach base in all 3 of his plate appearances. Due up next is Isaac Hodgson, who's 2 for 2 on the day. This one launched into center field, but making the play on it is Nolan Miller. The Titans leave 3 stranded on. They score the run off the homer from Johnston to start the inning. So 10-4 our score as we enter the 4th inning at UCCU Ballpark. Our high-scoring affair well underway. Here, 3 innings in the books, 14 combined runs scored. Olympus leading 10-4. 19 hits in total. Zaylen Fenn due up. Fenn, the last time we saw him, drove 1 into left field. He's had a strong week. Can he continue it here? Olson's already delivered over 80 pitches. We're not even halfway through yet, and this game has nearly lasted 2 hours. So our later start time, scheduled for 7 between Lehigh and Bountiful, will be moved. 0-2 the count. Salem Hills, once again, not a fan of the call. Fenn fouls it back to stay alive. Olson the delivery. Fenn, drop 3, strikeout to go. It's going to be close on the throw. And safe is Fenn. So Charlie Cushing now due up. He's been retired in both of his earlier plate appearances. So unfortunate break there for Olympus as the ball just squeezed away from Corbin Sanchez. High pop up. Trying to track it is Johnson in the sun, and he'll secure it. Wearing the shades in left field. He's able to make the grab first out of the inning. Comes off the first pitch to Cushing. Cam Colbert now due back up. Colbert put the ball in play both times, but both retired. The first one, a line drive to shortstop. The second, he flew out to Mick Paul in center. Coburn lifts one into right field, back on it, and catching it is Jackson Godfrey. So Fenn was first, and 3 pitches later, we have 2 outs after Cushing and Coburn are retired. Nolan Miller returns. Miller grounded out to third. Last time we saw him. Before that, he was retired on a line drive to shortstop. Fenn dives back to safety. Another pickoff attempt unsuccessful as Matthew Thomas tries to get the tag. Miller awaits the first pitch to be delivered to him from Olson. Skyhawks have scored 2 runs in back-to-back innings. Doing so here would pull them within 4. They face an uphill battle with 2 outs already. 0-1 the count. Chopper played over to third. It's Faust. And they get the out on first. That was extremely tight, but Faust tried to slide in, just couldn't beat the throw. So Faust retires Miller. We move into the bottom of the 4th. We'll see if the Titans can add to their 6-run lead. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Skyhawks looking to get back into this game. They'll have to do so defensively. Cam Coburn still on the mound. Isaac Hodgson due up. Hodgson will let the low ball pass. Hodgson has driven in 2 runs in each of his 2 previous plate appearances. The first one rocketed into right field. The second one lifted into left. This one sent into center, but making the grab on it is the speedy Nolan Miller. Skyhawks weren't able to score any runs in the top of the 4th. They'll look to make sure the Titans can't either. We'll turn it back over to the top of the order with Mick Paul due up. Paul's day at a glance so far. First one, he sent it into left field. The second one brought in a run on a booming hit to right. He'll fall to 0-1 in the count. Last time we saw him, he flew out into left field. He'll ground this one foul. As he steps out again. Superstition's a huge part of baseball. Paul likes to keep with his. 0-2 the count. Paul yet to strike out in the tournament. Won't come on the outside pitch there. 1-2, our count remains. Paul will let another outside pitch pass to even the count. The delivery is lifted into left field, and it just bounces foul. So count will remain at 2-2. Two our count. Paul comes back up. Curious to know what he likes to draw in the dirt. Looks like he just makes a cross, but hard to tell. 2-2 pitch, we'll do it again. That one sailed to the inside. Salem faithful once again frustrated with it. They are at a tough angle for those curveballs, but the full count pitch will be delivered. Paul chops it to stay alive into foul territory. Second one he's fouled off of the at-bat. Holman winds. He'll deliver. Paul pops it high. Is it a homer? No. It stays inside. Going to be at least a triple for Paul. He had an inside the home run yesterday. He'll have an opportunity to do so again. The throw is delivered to Graffenried. The tag. He got him. They decided to send Mick Paul home, and he's tagged out. To Graffenried makes the play. Paul takes it off the head as he's retired. Ashton Johnson due back up after the booming hit from Paul. It bounced off the glove of Spencer Vance. Johnson took the first pitch he received from Caleb Holman an inning ago and turned it into a homer. 2 outs in the inning for the Titans. Johnson falls to 0-2 in the count after missing that ball. Johnson lets the low pitch pass for ball 1. Seven runs in the first inning for the Titans, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. It came courtesy of Johnson's solo homer. If they can retire him here, they'll get out of the inning, surrendering none. Johnson chops it. It's a slow roller played by Fenn. And that goes off the glove of Fenn. So they're unable to get the out. Well backed up by DeGraffenried, who came over from the catcher spot. So Johnson able to make it on the throwing error. Jacob Faust returns. Faust drove the first run in the day for Olympus when he had a line drive into right field. He'll foul this one off. It's hit by a pitch in his second at-bat. Then grounded out to Fenn, the man who couldn't quite complete the out there. Pickoff attempt at Johnson. Unsuccessful. Faust lifts it into center. That'll reach the fence. Takes a bounce and hits it. That'll bring in Johnson. Gonna try to turn it into a triple. Will Faust, and he'll do so. So 11-4, excuse me. Our score goes off the huge triple from Jacob Faust. One of the longer balls we've seen hit today. Not many have reached the center field fence. Luke Affleck now due up. Outside delivery. One-0 the count. On third is Faust. This one sent into center. But making the grab on it is Nolan Miller, who gets Salem Hills out of the inning, but not before they surrender another run to Olympus. Olympus has scored in all 4 innings so far. They lead it 11-4. We're 4 innings through. The 5th due up next on KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Welcome back inside UCCU Ballpark. New man on the mound for the Titans is Jackson Parks, taking over for J.D. Olson. Parks has seen action in all 3 now of the Titans games. In the first Olympus game when they took on Salem Hills, it was Parks who came in and pitched 2 innings, finishing the game off, allowing just 1 hit. He had 1 walk in that one and had 4 strikeouts and 8 batters faced. He threw a total of 32 pitches. In his second outing last night, just had to face 2 batters. He threw a total of 10 pitches. And Parks now ready to face first Wyatt Hickman, the pitcher turned designated hitter, after he couldn't make it out of the first inning for Salem Hills. Then Zach Nelson on deck with Luke DeGraffenried in the hole. So J.D. Olson is relieved of his duties from the mound. It was a strong day for Olson. Parks delivers a ball that's fouled off. 1-1 the count. One, 2 the count after the ball delivery. Parks looking for the strikeout. Can't capture it as another one's fouled off by Hickman. A reminder, our nightcap originally scheduled for 7, featuring the 2-seeded Lehigh Pioneers and 10-seeded Bountiful Redhawks. We'll be due up 30 minutes after this one. It was originally scheduled for 7. That not going to happen anymore. Parks gets Hickman to foul another off in the lengthy first at bat for Olympus's most popular relief pitcher. Hickman ready for the delivery. Parks delivers a ball well to the outside and low. And leaving our count at 2-2 in our 5th inning. Now over 2 hours into our ball game. We still have 3 innings to play in what's been a high-scoring affair between the Titans and Skyhawks. Hicks will pop this one foul. Lengthy first at bat for Parks continues. Parks gets Hickman to chop it. Unable to make the diving play is Affleck. It's actually J.D. Olson who's moved off the mound and over to shortstop now. So rewarded for his lengthy at-bat was Hickman, who gets the base hit. He had the home run into left field the last time we saw him. Then a line drive into left field before that, so the 3rd straight time Hickman's been able to reach base today. Nelson launches it into left field. Johnson will slide and trap it. That'll be a double for Zach Nelson. So Parks has given up 2 hits and 2 batters faced early. 2 runners in scoring position for Salem Hills. Just a reminder of what the Salem Hills team is capable of. They came back from down 10-1 earlier this week. That game was yesterday when they knocked off the 3-seeded Jordan Beat Diggers. They scored 7 runs in the top of the 4th, had 1 more in the top of the 5th to finally pull themselves back. and tie things up. They needed extra innings to get the win, but they were able to do so, claiming the 14-12 victory over Jordan. 2-0 the count. Parks in danger of walking to Graffenried. Instead, DeGraffenried will pop it straight up, calling for it, and grabbing it was Mick Paul. Came down from center field to make the play. First out of the inning for the Titans. Spencer Vance now due up. Vance, the last time we saw him, ripped one into right field. Before that, he had 2 walks. He looked to become the first player for the Skyhawks to reach base in all 3 of his plate appearances. Or make it 4 after this one. Vance takes a hack, getting nothing. Falling to 0-1 in the count. Vance pitched in Salem Hills' earlier win versus Wasatch. It's been primarily the right fielder for the Skyhawks this week. Look to make another play at the bats. In the big victory yesterday, Vance had 5 runs brought in. He'll ground this one off the mound. And then he'll bring in just 1. But still pulls the Skyhawks within 6 as Hickman crosses home plate. So another base hit for Vance. Runners on first and third. Sam Richards now due up with just 1 out in the inning for Olympus. Richards, day at a glance, walked in his first plate appearance. Sent a line drive into right field to bring in 2 runs. He'll chop this one foul. Richards flew out into center field before that. Jackson Parks delivers to even the count with a strike. That one fouled off to the left by Richards. Count now 0-2. Or 1-2 for Richards. Parks checks first. Sets. Delivers. High flyer into left field. Going to be a tag-up opportunity. Johnson makes the grab. Going for home is Nelson, and he'll make it. So 2-run score in the top of the 5th. Now 2 outs for Salem Hills. With Zaylen Fenn due back up. Vance remains on first. Fenn stepping in. Fenn reached base in all 3 of his previous plate appearances. First strike delivered by Parks. Vance with a strong leadoff on first. Outside delivery will bring the count to 1-1. Fenn walked in his first plate appearance, then launched one into left field. Was able to reach base in his third at-bat. On the drop, 3 strikeout. Fenn sends it directly to McPaul, who makes the leaping grab. Leaving one stranded on for Salem, but they still crawl back into it. They trail by 5 as we enter the bottom of the 5th. Titans will be back on the offensive. When we return, you're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Back here inside UCCU Ballpark, where Corbin Sanchez, Jackson Godfrey, and J.D. Olson will all be due up for Olympus. Sanchez drills one that squeezes past a diving Cushing. He'll round first, take it to second. So a double to start things off for the Titans. Olympus with action at the bats. Sanchez will once again be replaced by the pinch runner, who's once again Jack Musso. It's the first double of the day for Sanchez, but the third time he's reached base. Jackson Godfrey due up. 2 strikeouts for him, but he also has a line drive into left field. Bottom of the 5th. Musso on second. Nearly swinging, but pulling back on it was Godfrey. Oh, they did say he go. So 0-1 the count. Low ball will bring the count to 1-1. Taking a second to reset is Caleb Holman, who's been strong since taking over. Only allowed 1 run of the 11 given up. Gets ahead in the count with the strike. One, 2 the count. Godfrey trying not to become the first player today to strike out for a 3rd time in either side of our matchup. Godfrey, he'll do just that. He's frustrated as he heads back to the dugout of Olympus. That'll bring back J.D. Olson, the former pitcher, now shortstop. Olson walked in his last appearance. Before that, flew out into right field. Also dropped one into right on a high flyer. He allowed the first ball to pass. This is an Olympus team. Has been strong all tournament. They've trailed early, but never after 5 innings. 1 out. Olson allows the second high pitch to pass. Musso still settled on second. Olympus has scored in every inning so far, so they'll try to keep that up. Outside delivery brings the count to 3-0. Holman, he's yet to walk a Titan. That could change here. And it will, so 4 straight balls delivered. And they're still going to swap Olson with the pinch runner. Braden Gassick will take the place of Olson. Olympus has already had 14 hits in this one. Skyhawks with 11 of their own. 11-6 our score. 1 out, 2 runners on for the Titans. Jenkins nearly swung at the pitch. Should have, as it was a strike. Jenkins was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat, then had the walk. Then flew out into center field to leave 3 stranded on. In the bottom of the third. Outside delivery from Holman. Second straight ball delivered. 2-1 the count. Just 1 out in the inning. Holman trying to avoid loading the bases. His third straight ball sent to the outside. Trying to avoid walking his second straight batter. Tanner Jenkins ready for it. He'll ground it. Slow roller, Fenn on it. And Fenn retires him at first. But both runners advance for Olympus. Isaac Hodgson due back up. 2 outs now for the Titans. 2 runners in scoring position. Olympus has left some runners on today. Look to avoid doing so with Hodgson, their leader in RBIs. He's brought 4 in. He flew out into center the last time we saw him. It'll be Hodgson with Mick Paul on deck. 0-2 the count. After Hodgson bit on that pitch. And that's strike 3. Hodgson goes down watching. Caleb Holman nearly walked back-to-back batters. Instead, he gets a huge strikeout to close it out. It's the first inning the Skyhawks have held the Titans scoreless. They're still in it, 6-11. We have 2 innings to play. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Welcome back inside to UCCU Ballpark. 5 innings in the books. Salem Hills still in it. It's 11-6, the Titans lead. Due up for Salem Hills will be Charlie Cushing, Cam Coburn, and Nolan Miller. Cushing is yet to reach base today. Flew out in the left field the last 2 times we've seen him. He struck out in his first plate appearance. Jackson Park still on the mound for the Titans. Gave up 2 runs in the top of the 5th. Fires the first pitch to the outside. He'll foul this one off, evening the count at 1-1. We talked about Salem Hills' comeback versus Jordan. They also trailed Wasatch earlier today. It was an 8-2 game heading into the bottom of the sixth, but that's when Salem Hills exploded for 12 runs. High pitch will even the count once again at 2. In that earlier game for Salem Hills, Cushing, Coburn, Miller, Hickman. The next 4 due up for the Skyhawks. All had very productive stretches. Driving in runs for their team. That one hits Cushing as he'll head to first. It's the first time today, and Olympus's pitcher. An Olympus pitcher has hit someone with a pitch. Cam Coburn returns. He's yet to reach base today. Had a line driver. He's retired at shortstop in his first plate appearance. In his second and third, he flew out to center and right field, respectively. Pinch runner going to come on for Salem. So Stewart takes first. One-oh the count. Coburn pops it deep. McPaul makes the grab. So for the 4th time today, Cam Coburn retired. The 2nd time, he's flew out to center. Nolan Miller due back up. Miller also yet to reach base today. Line drive out to shortstop. Ended his first at-bat and the first inning. Then he grounded out to third. In his second and third plate appearances, 1 out now in the inning for Olympus. Salem Hills down to their final 5 outs now. If they want to get back into it. The 6th inning proved strong for them before. See if they can ride it once again here. Parks will even the count at 1-1 after the low delivery. Stewart on first. Matthew Thomas awaits a pickoff attempt from Parks. He'll look him off. Deliver. Another low to the outside. Parks evens the count with that strike. Nolan Miller will walk to first. So it was actually a 3-1 count. Wyatt Hickman now due up. It's been a great day for Hickman. At the plate, he struggled as a pitcher early. Part of the reason the Titans scored 7. But for Hickman, had a line drive to left field, also a home run. Last time we saw him, drove one off the ground up the gut. Here, he'll chop one. That'll break through. And load the bases up with 1 out. As Johnson gets the ball in. Hickman 4 for 4 on the day. Zach Nelson now due up. Nelson also with 3 hits. Parks trying to get Olympus out of it, maintaining their lead. His first delivery was inside. Nelson, that's the outside ball 2 pass. And a grounder off the mound that allowed him to reach first in his first plate appearance. And from there he sent one into right field and center. Doing so here, or even a sacrifice fly, would allow runs to score. Parks reacclimates himself with the strike zone. 2-1 the count. Jackson Parks has come in relief of the Titans and held steady for them in their previous 2 games. Here struggling a bit, in danger of walking in a run. 3-1 the count. Bases loaded for the Skyhawks. Parks catches the strike zone. Frustration and cheers alike from the fans. Full count. Titans faithful know it. They'll stand to their feet. Nolan Miller ready for it. It's a grounder that passes by Matthew Thomas and score a run for Salem. Stewart crosses home. Bases remain loaded. There's some action underway for the Titans in their bullpen as the infield is going to talk some strategy. 7-11 our score. Still just 1 out in the inning. Luke DeGraffenreid now due up. Off the Nelson single. DeGraffenreid brought in a run earlier. He'll allow the first strike to pass. Flew out into center the last time we saw him, and in his very first plate appearance of the night, struck out. A reminder what's on the line. Salem Hills trying to force another game tomorrow. This fly ball going to be unplayable in foul territory. So 0-2 the count. Parks in search of a second out. Parks yet to capture a strikeout since taking over. For Olson. Can he do it with 3 straight? He will. Huge strikeout from Jackson Park. DeGraffenreid goes down swinging, and for the 5th time today, we'll see Spencer Vance. 4 for 4 his plate appearances. DeGraffenreid had a home run in today's earlier game, and the Skyhawks win over Wasatch. Couldn't play hero here. A homer here would tie the game. Vance drove a run in the last time we saw him. 2 walks in his first 2 plate appearances. Sent one into right as well. He'll foul this one off to even the count at 1-1. Jackson Parks, first strikeout, couldn't have come at a more critical time. He'll look to retire one of the best hitters of Salem Hills in Spencer Vance. Vance hit a homer in yesterday's huge comeback. He'll call for time and step out. Jackson Park delivers a pitch just to the outside. Park still in danger of walking in a run. Appeal. Did he bite on it? Let's say he did not. 3-1 our count. Vance will walk. Parks brings in a run. Crossing home plate is Nolan Miller, who's the first walk of the inning for Jackson Parks. So Vance with his third walk of the game. That'll bring up Sam Richards. We'll see if Parks will remain in the game. Multiple Titans warming up. We are nearly 3 hours into this one at UCCU Ballpark. It's been our longest of the day. Salem Hills a routine feature in our longer at-bats as they are relentless. The never die spirit strong. So Jackson Park's going to remain on the mound. Has 2 outs after capturing the strikeout. On to Graffenried. Now ready to face Sam Richards. Richards brought in 3 runs already on the day. He'll look to have another productive at-bat here. Keep the inning alive for Salem with 3 runners on base. And Richards moves out the way on the pass ball. As Parks lets in another run. 11-9 our score. Two runners just on base now. Richards, 1-0 in the count. He'll foul one off. Jackson Parks, the Titans' favorite relief pitcher, struggling here. He's already given up 3 runs in the inning, in danger of making it 4. This one, a slow roller, fielded. And coming off the bag to make the grab was Matthew Thomas. And he'll bring in another run. Coach Felt's not happy about something. So Richards makes it to first. Vance to third. And Zach Nelson came home. It's a 1-run game. Our officiating crew talking it over. 3 umpires come together. We'll see what they determine. Pioneers fans started to make their way into the ballpark. A reminder, that game will be due up 30 minutes after this one concludes. Zaylen Fenn will be due up after this lengthy meeting ends. Jackson Park still on the mound at the moment. He very well may be swapped out after this. Call stands. Coach Feltz wants an explanation. I think what he's arguing about is interference. As Vance kind of hung up, impeding the path of the ball. He's frustrated but won't get his way. 4-run score in the top of the 6th. Salem's come to life. Parks still on the mound. Tying run at third. Zalen Fenn back up. Fenn reached base in 3 of his 4 appearances today. He let strike 1 pass. Another inside delivery, 1-1 the count. The Salem Hills team continues to hang tough. It's the 2nd time this week they've scored 10 runs. 2-1 goes the count on the outside pitch. Parks in danger of once again loading the bases. We've been at 2 outs for a minute. Parks passes it through to the outside. Three, 1 the count. What could be Jackson Park's final batter. He'll walk Fenn, the 2nd time today. Now due up is Charlie Cushing. Tying run at third. Parks struggling. Salem Hills with a great chance to get back into it. Parks delivers a ball. Cushing. He's hit by a pitch the last time we saw him. He'll launch it foul to even the count. Cushing awaits the delivery from Jackson Parks. And he'll foul another off. 1-2 the count. The Titans 1 strike away from getting out of what's been a tough top of the 6th. In which they've surrendered 4 runs. We're now tied in the hits department at 14. You can see as the sun begins to set, shadows taking effect in our infield. Outside curveball, just too far to the outside. 2-2 the count. Cushing looking to keep the inning going and tie the game. He'll pop it straight up. Johnson trying to track it amidst the sun. He's able to do it. The Titans surrender 4, but they're going to get out of the top of the 6th with the lead still. An 11-10 barn burner taking place at UCCU Ballpark. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Welcome back inside UCCU Ballpark, where Mick Paul does his routine. Titans students take to their feet. Both great student sections and fans alike on hand. Some Pioneer Purple and Bountiful Red starting to make their way into the park. First strike delivered to Mick Paul. So it's Paul, Ashton Johnson, and Jacob Faust, the leadoff hitters for Olympus, all due up. Paul shows bunt, then pulls back after the inside pitch is delivered. One and one the count. Olympus hoping this is the last offensive push they'll need. Paul pops it. It's up and grabbed by Sam Richards. So Paul had a strong start to the day, but since 3 consecutive 2 pop outs and then got a little greedy going for home where he was retired. Ashton Johnson, the lone home run of the day for Olympus. Caleb Holman has been really strong since coming in relief of Baum. Johnson lets the curveball pass for a ball. Johnson lifts it into right field. Catch is made. The two most prolific hitters of the batting order are retired. That'll bring up Jacob Faust with 2 outs now. Faust. Let's strike 1 pass. Faust will foul it off to move to 0-2 in the count. Our 11-10 game between the Titans and Salem Hills. Chopper, unable to grab it, is Cushing off the low roller. So Faust, this is 3rd base hit of the day off the grounder. I'll bring up Luke Affleck. Affleck awaits the delivery from Holman. He'll bite on the first pitch to fall to 0-1 in the count. Olympus holding on to their lead just barely. 2 outs in the inning. Going for second. And making it is Faust. It's a high delivered ball from DeGraff and Reed as him and Cam Corbin collide. So successful stolen base for Faust as Affleck look to keep the inning alive. Gonna have a mound meeting. As for Salem Hills, Andy Gohl, assistant coach, make his way out. Talk about how he wants to play this. 0-2 the count. Salem Hills just 1 strike away from getting out of the bottom of the sixth. It would be the second straight inning. They've surrendered no runs. They've only given up 4 runs since that offensive explosion from the Titans to start the game. 0-2 the count, bottom of the sixth. Caleb Holman ready to deliver the pitch to Affleck. He's on his 5th at-bat of the afternoon. Affleck pops it. It'll be playable in foul territory. Nelson secures it. Salem Hills, their fans know it. They get out of the inning. They'll have an opportunity in the top of the 7th. They need 1 run to tie it, 2 to take the lead. We move into that 7th. You're watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. Back inside the UCCU ballpark. We have a great one ensuing. Sam Creer is going to take over on the mound for Olympus. Creer, the senior, yet to see action this week. This is his opportunity to close out and get the win for Olympus. Career 3-0 record. He's 8 strikes away from sending his team into the championship game. Salem Hills needs at least 1 run to force the Titans to bat again. Due up first for Salem Hills is Cam Coburn. Everyone on their feet, in attendance. Creer starts it right with a strike. Coburn bites on the second. 0-2 the count. Creer looking to make it a quick strikeout. He'll set, fire. It's a grounder, and it squeezes through. Coburn turns around the at-bat. The tying run to first. That's Coburn's first base hit of the day. He flew out or grounded out every time before that. So Nolan Miller now comes up. Coach Haney, coming down now, opt to replace Coburn with a pinch runner. We'll see who it'll be, as there looks to be some confusion in the bullpen. As the coaching staff decides who to place on. We go with Jack Guest. Or never mind, Guest is pulled back. Guest made his way out first. Instead, it'll be Garrett Holt. So Garrett Holt on first. With Nolan Miller due up. Miller shows bunt. Sails it high into foul territory. Move to 0-1 in the count. Holt on first. Creer, he'll deliver. Once again, he gets in the count, ahead in the count, 0-2. Coburn was able to get a hit off him after he did so. Holt on the season has 2 stolen bases. He sits at first. Creer forces a fly ball that'll go into foul territory, unplayable. 0-2 our count remains. Career has come on and delivered nothing but heat. A reminder, our next game, Lehigh taking on Bountiful. We'll be due up 30 minutes after this one concludes. 0-2 the count. Miller goes down swinging. Came just off the top of the bat, but he will be struck out. So 1 down, 2 more to go for Olympus. Garrett Holt remains settled on first after the first out. This is at Electrica Ballpark, as we've seen it this week. Salem Hills trying to complete the improbable comeback. Hickman now due up. Pitch delivered to the outside by Career. Hickman, 4 hits already on the day. He'll let the first strike pass, evening the count at 1-1. Hickman had the home run earlier. Doing so would give his team the lead here. He takes a bite and gets nothing. 1-2 the count. 1 out for Olympus. Career already with 1 strikeout. That one delivered low. It'll even our count. Career will reset. Hickman goes down swinging. He's retired for the first time today. Sam Career steps up on the mound. 2nd out for Olympus. Salem Hills have done a lot throughout the week with 2 outs. They'll need to do so here if they want their season to continue and force another game tomorrow. Career 3 strikes away from closing it. Low delivery on the first one. The speedy Garrett Holt, who Coach Haney has opted to take first pickoff attempt. About as lazy as you'll see, just to keep him honest. Career sets, delivers another low to the outside. 2-0 the count with 2 outs. Career able to reacclimate himself with the strike zone. He'll need 2 more of those if he wants to seal the deal for Olympus. The Titans close to becoming winners of bracket 1. Popped up into foul territory, 2-2. Our count off that thud. Zach Nelson has 4 hits on the day. He's yet to be retired. Hickman was the same way before he was. Nelson pops it up into foul territory. Once again, it won't be playable. Zach Nelson, the first baseman, trying to get there and keep the inning alive. Our 2-2 count. Sam Career's been lights out since coming in for Jackson Park. Can he close the deal and send his team to the title? Outside delivery, full count. We're over 3 hours into play. And it all comes down to this full count pitch. Career. Forces Nelson to foul another off. Nelson protecting home. His team's season on the line. Skyhawks Trail by 1. 11-10 our score. Creer. Can he finish it here? He will! Sam Creer gets the win, and he's ecstatic. He's greeted by his teammates as they end the Skyhawks season. Salem Hills, what a run. They'll go down. They fought back, but it'll come up just short. Olympus punches their ticket. So there will be no game tomorrow. They will have the day off. They'll await the results of the Lehigh Bountiful game to see. So Olympus officially are winners of Bracket 2. The 4th seeded Titans await Lehigh or Bountiful. Looking at it for Olympus. They'll have an opportunity to win a state championship. It would be their 2nd of the season, as they also won it in basketball. What a run by Salem Hills. These Skyhawks, the 12th seed, phenomenal. Coach Haney and his team can do nothing but hold their heads high. What a season and a postseason run it was. They beat Jordan, they beat Wasatch to make it here, and they almost beat the Titans. They fought like crazy, but in the end, they can't close the deal for Olympus. Sam Creer came in and clutched up. Looking at the rest of the bats for the Titans, Mick Paul was strong early with 2 hits. Ashton Johnson had the home run. Jacob Faust, Luke Affleck, Corbin Sanchez, and of course Isaac Hodgson also delivered in the hits department to help the Titans take it. Your finals: the 4th seeded Olympus Titans defeat the 12th seeded Salem Hills Skyhawks by a score of 11-10. Our next game, featuring the 2 ranked Pioneers of Lehigh and the 10th ranked Red Hawks of Bountiful, will get underway in about 30 minutes. So first pitch around 8:20, 8:30. We thank all of you for tuning in. We'll see who Olympus will face as they punch their ticket to the championship game. We thank you for watching KSL Game Night Live Rewind. I'm JT Wistersill. Have a good night.